I want to talk today about one tool used by reactionaries to fool people and to goad people into reactionary beliefs, and that is the use of the fake or imaginary slippery slope.
Oh, there's something slippery here, all right.
In general, reactionaries use fear as a tool.
You mean like they're doing with Putin? Like they did before with COVID? Like they're constantly doing with capitalism and free markets? Like you yourself have done with Trump supporters, climate change, gun rights, January 6th, and basically anyone who isn't on your political team? Somehow I think this is gonna be a lot of confession through projection here.
They aggrandize threats beyond what they are to make people afraid, and then they use that fear to try to get people to support certain policies.
But enough about Pakman.
One example of the false slippery slope.
Except, as we've repeatedly seen, slippery slope is not a fallacy. Search this channel for numerous examples.
And a great example we have because of the pandemic is the fake slippery slope of vaccine mandates. As you may know, for over a year now, the reactionary right has been saying the first thing is you got to get a COVID vaccine. And the next thing you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Right, because there's nothing at all that it's currently being used as a precedent for. Just don't even look. Stay at home and let the great and the good like Pakman spoon feed you the information you need.
And we now have over 200 years of history to tell us that vaccine mandates don't lend themselves to more authoritarianism.
Yeah, except history tells us the opposite, doesn't it? In 1905, the Supreme Court decided in Jacobson v. Massachusetts that states could require vaccination against smallpox. And what was it used for? Eugenics! Specifically, the forced sterilization of inmates who were examples of, as they put it, hereditary imbecility, which the Supreme Court then said was A-OK in Buck v. Bell, a decision that has never been overturned. And yes, the Buck court specifically relied on Jacobson. Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr., writing for the majority, said, "It is better for all the world if, instead of waiting to execute degenerate offspring for crime or to let them starve for their imbecility, society can prevent those who are manifestly unfit from continuing their kind. The principle that sustains compulsory vaccination is broad enough to cover cutting the fallopian tubes." Jacobson v. Massachusetts, 197 U.S. 11. 3 generations of imbeciles are enough. As a result of this decision, by 1930, a total of 24 states had passed involuntary sterilization laws, and around 60,000 women were forcibly sterilized. There's your slippery slope, Pally!
And then in 1905, in the U.S. Supreme Court case Jacobson v. Massachusetts, the Supreme Court said, now municipalities can put in a vaccine mandate. And people are saying, this is the start of what? And it just never went further.
What? Seriously? Buck v. Bell and the forced sterilization of 60,000 women is going no further? Pakman is one of the worst human beings alive!
So it's an obviously false slippery slope. The vaccine mandates over the last 200 years have not led to anything more than that.
Unbelievable!
You can really tell the difference in how the right uses slippery slopes and fear-mongering by thinking about something like healthcare. I mean, let's just think it through. We on the left say about healthcare, listen, the right wants this like total for-profit free market healthcare thing.
Yeah, and you don't at all fearmonger about that, do you, scumbag?
They, generally speaking, want to let insurance companies charge whatever they want to people with pre-existing conditions, deny them insurance, and if the right got its way, we would continue to see medical bankruptcies, which we're already seeing. We would continue to see people unable to afford or access care, which we already see. All of this stuff exists right now.
Yeah, so thanks for backing me up.
Okay, there's no crazy fear-mongering from the left on health insurance.
What? What do you call what you were just doing?
The right says if the left gets its way, it's the start of a communist takeover of healthcare where government bureaucrats will create death panels and decide whether you live or die.
You mean like what is actually happening with universal healthcare all over the world? See my video, How to Argue for Universal Healthcare, for examples, fully sourced. This is not fear-mongering. This actually happens. For a particularly heart-wrenching story of NHS abuse, look up the story of baby Charlie. The slippery slope is real. Whereas you can't back up any of your fear-mongering because all of the left's fear-mongering about capitalism and the free market all end up being the fault of government, as I've repeatedly shown. None of those problems existed before your holy government started meddling in healthcare. In fact, you can't even get your examples right. I didn't play this part, but there's one part where he talks about George Washington and vaccination, even though there were no vaccines at the time. All he showed was that he doesn't even understand the difference between vaccination and inoculation. And those are the tools of people like Pac-Man: ignorance and lies.
So the best thing when you start hearing these slippery slope claims, if you do this, it's going to lead to all this other stuff. First of all, ask for examples of when that has happened.
And we'll give you some. We'll give you a lot, in fact. And you might want to have some tissues ready when we do.
Secondly, ask the person claiming the slippery slope will happen to explain exactly how.
And we'll tell you. We'll explain about economic incentives. We'll explain how government is nothing but aggression and why aggression is a terrible way to try and get what you want. Whereas, what will people like Pac-Man do? We saw it just now with Jacobson. They will tell you absolute bald-faced lies. So thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe, leave a comment, and go to donate.bogosity.tv to keep me doing what I do. And check out all the great content here, like this video selected just for you.